Okay, today I was working on getting the heads on my 4.7 liter Dodge, and I'd already had took the block and had it bored out, and I got I think it was 30 thousandths over, and I'd got some oversized pistons and put in it, and got all the bearings and stuff and everything replaced in it, and my heads had just come in today, so I was just working on getting these on. And on this gasket here, some people wonder, which side goes up, which is which, but it doesn't really matter as long as you got it, on the proper side there. And here's my other head over here. And one thing I will say is, even though these have been remanufactured, always make sure to wipe those down, starter fluid and everything, make sure it's just surgically clean. Same way with this surface under here. Before I put this gasket down, I went over it, probably 10 times, making sure there was no dirt. Just make sure it's just really clean. And yeah, and then I'm going to work on getting it torqued down. This is the timing assembly up here. Now I just went back and used the same chain and my tensioners. It was working just fine except for the failed head gasket, so I'm just going to reuse some of these components. If I have a problem, I'll replace it later. I just didn't want to spend any more money on it right now. But it's really not that difficult to get this timed. There's a let me see if I can get this to show up here. There's a dot. Hold on one second. Alright, give me just a minute. Find a light here. Just wanted to go over this real quick. There is a dot right down here. You can see on the bottom of that little gear right there, and that has a corresponding there's a blue plated link on that chain. Now that dot, you want to make sure is lined up with that. And then on the top you have two links that are blue plated up here, and there's a dot right there, and it'll go right in the center of those. And now you want to make sure to clean these chains up, because before you put it back together, you won't be able to see those marks at all. And right in here on the sprocket there is this window right here. Now there is two blue plated links you can see in there on that chain. Now you want to make sure that they are centered in that window, and that is going to go to the corresponding cam up here. Now there's also a blue plated link there that is going to line up with the dot on the sprocket there. And then the same on this side. You can't really see the one back in behind there, but you have to just kind of look at it when you put it together. But there's two links back in behind there that have to correspond with this window right here. And once you got those lined up and you get your link lined up with the sprocket up here, then you got everything in time. So you got your dot here, blue link, two blue links up here, and that dot, and then you just make sure the two links that are plated blue show through this window and correspond to this cam, and then the two show through this window that's back behind that chain. It's really hard to see, but they're going to correspond to the one that's going to be setting up here. Let me see Let me find my little sprocket. Okay, so this one will actually be going up here like so. So I'm going to obviously have to rotate that around. Basically the V8 is going to be pointed like upwards, and then that little blue link on that chain is going to line up right centered on that sprocket where that dot's at, and then we'll know that we have it timed properly. So and it's the same thing on this side over here, except the sprocket looks a little bit different. It's got this little shroud that the cam sensor reads off of. But anyways, there's a dot right there, you can see, and then that blue plated link will line up with that. So anyways, just been working on this thing for probably 3-4 weeks, kind of on and off a little bit, just trying to get everything together. And I had to order some replacement remanufactured heads and stuff, and had to have my cylinders bored 30 over because I had one cylinder that was bad, had a little bit of a scratch in it that was too deep. So, and then I took the time to also, I painted this oil pan before I put it back together, just to make it look kind of nice. And I also painted my valve covers over here, so that'll look pretty nice once it all comes together. Just trying to do a little bit, you know. I was waiting around for the heads for 2 or 3 weeks, so I thought, well, I'll take and paint some stuff while I'm waiting. And this is my headers, and I got some of this flame proof from AutoZone, and it's kind of a ceramic type paint. And I actually took these headers, wish I'd done a video. I didn't. They were rusted really bad, and I took and soaked them in just vinegar. It took like a couple of gallons of vinegar, and I just took a scrub brush after I'd done that. This is my little container I had the vinegar in, and I just soaked them. So I got some bolts in there now. I soaked them for like 24 hours and took a scrub brush like this and just cleaned all that rust right off. Now the only thing about it, you want to make sure that you paint these immediately after they get dry, because it'll start rusting really fast after it's been in that vinegar and everything. Also, I rinsed the vinegar off and stuff a little bit before and let them dry, and then I painted them just immediately. But I'm hoping it's gonna, just look kind of nice. Have those painted. But anyways, yeah, this truck was still running at the time, but the head gasket failures are pretty common on these, and it was starting to smoke. And then it wasn't until I went to do an oil change that I seen that the oil was real milky, and I knew I had a head gasket failure. So anyhow, that's where I'm at. This is my truck sitting out there. Have to take the front bumper off in order to get in there. Everything is so far back. I just used my cherry picker there, and this is basically take that front bumper off. Didn't have to remove any of the Freon lines. Just kind of left everything connected and just kind of moved everything out of my way as I needed it. Same thing with the wire and harness and all that stuff. Just kind of moved it back out of the way. May do a video once I get it together, kind of how I go about getting it in here. The last one I'd done, I believe I had to leave these motor mounts off that slide into here, in order to have enough play to get it to actually slide back into the transmission with those two dowels and the little center nub there. I believe I had to leave the actual motor mounts and the headers off because it just didn't have enough room. And just to kind of give you that little bit of room, makes it a lot easier just to go ahead and put those on after the fact. So anyways, I just wanted to do a quick video on this project here, and thank you.